Maya Chen wiped grease from her hands as she watched the alien vessel dock with the orbital facility. The massive structure, officially designated Technological Exchange Center Alpha, hung like a glittering pendant against Earth's blue curve. 3 months since first contact, and humanity was still starstruck by the Galactic Confederation's generosity. Engineer Chen, please proceed to Processing Bay 3. The automated announcement echoed. Maya adjusted her salvage contractor badge and pushed off from the observation window, gliding through the station's microgravity with practiced ease. Another day sorting alien garbage, she muttered, passing a group of politicians being given the VIP tour. Their excited chatter about interstellar cooperation and technological uplift made her roll her eyes. The truth had become obvious to Maya within her first week working the sorting facilities. Earth had become the galaxy's newest dumping ground. Processing Bay 3 was chaos when she arrived, crates of discarded alien tech being unloaded from the Cellbaxi freighter that had just docked. Ambassador Greel, a tall, multi-limbed being with iridescent skin, gestured dramatically for the benefit of the human officials. Another generous contribution from the Cellbaxi Mercantile Guild, Greel announced through his translator, technological components to aid Earth's development. Maya's supervisor nudged her. Chen, take inventory on Section 5. And try looking grateful. These cameras are broadcasting globally. She forced a smile and pushed her hovercar toward the designated section. The Confederation representatives departed with the human delegation, leaving the contractors to their work. Once they were gone, Maya's practiced eye began truly evaluating what they received. More broken environmental units, outdated medical scanners. And what's this? She paused at a container filled with metallic spheres, each the size of a softball. Her scanner identified them as depleted energy cells, non-hazardous. The aliens considered these worthless. Maya slipped one into her pocket. 12 hours later, back in her workshop outside Seattle, Maya carefully examined her contraband. The family salvage business had been struggling since her parents died. Now it was just her, a mountain of debt, and a warehouse of parts nobody wanted. "Let's see what you're really made of," she whispered, connecting diagnostic equipment to the alien power cell. Her instruments spiked momentarily before settling into a steady reading. Impossible. According to her equipment, this depleted cell contained enough energy to power her entire workshop for days. Maya's phone buzzed. Dr. Eli Shapiro, an old friend from her military engineering days. His face appeared on screen, excitement evident even through the poor connection. "Maya, did you see the latest shipment manifest? They're dumping quantum processing arrays tomorrow, outdated by their standards, but centuries beyond our technology. Eli, I need you here. Now." She turned her camera to show the power readings. His eyes widened. "That's impossible. The Confederation representatives specifically said their waste contained no viable technology." "They lied," Maya said simply. "Or maybe depleted means something different to them. Either way, we're sitting on a gold mine while they treat us like garbage collectors." When Eli arrived an hour later, the power cell was running every system in Maya's warehouse simultaneously. "This changes everything," he whispered, watching the alien technology humming with energy that, according to the Confederation, shouldn't exist. Maya's mind raced with possibilities. If one piece of alien junk could do this, what could they accomplish with access to entire shipments? The Confederation saw humans as simple creatures, grateful for scraps from the galactic table. They had no idea what humans could do with what others discarded. "We need to be smart about this," Maya said finally. "Quiet. Strategic." "What are you thinking?" Eli asked. Maya looked out the warehouse window at the night sky, where the alien station glinted like a distant star. "I'm thinking it's time to start a new business, one that specializes in reclamation." 3 weeks after discovering the power cell, Maya's warehouse had transformed. Security cameras monitored the perimeter, and the main floor had been converted into a makeshift laboratory. Maya studied the holographic display Eli had jury-rigged from salvaged alien components. "We need more people," she admitted reluctantly. "Specialists." Eli nodded, adjusting his glasses. "I have someone in mind for materials analysis." Parrish Mehta worked with him at MIT before the university kicked him out. Why was he kicked out? Claimed he could taste molecular structures. Everyone thought he was crazy until tests proved he was right every time. He has a form of synesthesia that somehow works with alien materials too. Maya raised an eyebrow. "Sounds perfect. What about software? These devices have operating systems we can't begin to understand." "There's someone," Eli hesitated. "Riley Kim. Brilliant with patterns, but difficult to work with. Doesn't handle social situations well." "I don't need social skills. I need results," Maya said, authorizing the transfer of funds, most of her remaining savings, to secure warehouse space in an abandoned industrial park. 2 days later, a sleek black car pulled up outside the warehouse. A woman in an expensive suit stepped out, her face obscured by large sunglasses despite the overcast Seattle day. "You must be Cobra," Maya said, crossing her arms. The woman smiled. "And you're the engineer who's been smuggling alien tech off the exchange station. Impressive security breach. We need distribution channels. Someone with connections who can move product without attracting attention." Cobra removed her sunglasses, revealing sharp, intelligent eyes. "Show me what you've got first. I don't deal in hypotheticals." Inside, Parrish Mehta was licking what appeared to be a fragment of alien metal, his eyes closed in concentration. "Titanium beryllium alloy with something. Something I'd never tasted before," he murmured. "It self-repairs at the molecular level." Across the room, Riley sat cross-legged on the floor, surrounded by disassembled alien devices, fingers flying over multiple keyboards. The young programmer hadn't spoken more than 10 words since arriving, but had already bypassed security protocols on 3 different alien systems. Maya led Cobra to a sealed room in the back. Inside sat a small drone constructed from repurposed alien parts. "Watch," Maya said. Activating the device, the drone hummed to life, rising silently. Standard Earth batteries would give it maybe 20 minutes of flight time. With our modified alien power cells, it can operate continuously for 3 months. Cobra's professional demeanor cracked. "Holy shit. That's just the beginning. We've identified components that could revolutionize everything from medicine to transportation, but we need to operate carefully. The Confederation can't know what we're doing." "You need a front," Cobra said, mind already racing. "A legitimate business processing alien waste, with the real operation happening behind the scenes." Maya nodded. "Phoenix Reclamation. We're already registered as an official contractor." A sudden alarm interrupted them. Riley appeared at the doorway, looking uncomfortable but urgent. "Confederation Inspector," they said quietly. "Arriving tomorrow." Discrepancies in processing volume triggered an audit. Maya's heart raced. "How?" "We've been careful with the manifests. They're counting volumetrically," Eli explained. "The components we've kept have higher density than what we're processing. The mass calculations don't match." "We need a plan," Maya said, looking at her assembled team. A disgraced academic, a socially awkward programming genius, a materials scientist with unusual sensory abilities, and a black market broker. Cobra smiled slowly. "I might have an idea, but you won't like it." "Try me," Maya challenged. "We hide in plain sight, process everything exactly as they expect. But we work faster, learn faster." Cobra tapped the drone hovering silently. "By the time they realize humans aren't just good garbage collectors, we'll be too valuable to shut down." The warehouse fell silent as everyone considered the audacity of the plan. "It could work," Parrish said finally, "but we'd need to step up production immediately." Riley nodded. "I've almost finished mapping their communication protocols. We could monitor the inspector's reports." Then it settled. Maya said, looking at her unlikely crew of brilliance and desperation. Phoenix rises tomorrow. Let's show the galaxy what humans can do with their leftovers. 6 months after their narrow escape from the Confederation inspection, Phoenix Reclamation had expanded dramatically. Maya stood at the window of their new headquarters, a converted manufacturing complex outside Portland, watching autonomous drones efficiently sorting the latest shipment of alien waste. The board meeting starts in 5 minutes, her assistant reminded her. Maya nodded, straightening her suit jacket. The transformation from warehouse tinkerer to corporate executive had happened almost overnight after their first major breakthrough. The boardroom fell silent as Maya entered. Around the table sat representatives from 3 national governments, 2 global energy consortiums, and a United Nations delegation. Eli stood at the presentation screen, looking uncomfortable in formal attire. As you can see, Eli continued, the fusion batteries have successfully completed all safety trials. Mass production can begin next quarter. The Chinese energy minister leaned forward. And you can guarantee output levels at 50 times current solar efficiency. Minimum, Maya confirmed. The alien components we've modified were designed for starships. Even at partial capacity, they exceed anything Earth has developed. We've already negotiated license agreements with 17 nations, Cobra added smoothly from the end of the table. Her underground connections had proven invaluable in navigating international politics. The distribution model ensures no single entity controls the technology. The American representative frowned. The administration has concerns about national security implications. Maya had anticipated this, which is precisely why we're licensing components to multiple nations simultaneously. These technologies are too important to become weapons or monopolies. After the meeting concluded, Maya found Riley and Parrish in the main laboratory. Their workspace had evolved from scattered parts to state-of-the-art equipment, much of it modified from alien tech. How's the water purification system coming? Maya asked. Riley didn't look up from their workstation. 97% efficiency. The cell filtration membranes work perfectly once we bypassed the built-in degradation protocols. Built-in degradation? Maya asked sharply. Parrish nodded, looking troubled. We're finding it in more components. Deliberate failure points engineered into the technology, almost like they're designed to break down after achieving a certain level of utility. Riley finished. It's a pattern across multiple species technologies. Before Maya could process this disturbing revelation, an alert sounded. The security system, designed by Riley using modified alien surveillance tech, had detected an unauthorized transmission from orbit. We've got a Confederation ship entering Earth orbit, Eli reported, rushing in. Not scheduled. And they're scanning specifically for energy signatures matching our fusion batteries. Maya's stomach tightened. They know. Worse, Riley said quietly, looking up from their screen. They've sent someone. An official representative named Krulvex is requesting a tour of our facility tomorrow. Stall them, Maya ordered. Move the prototype lab underground. Cobra, we need to accelerate the African and South American distribution centers. Already on it, Cobra confirmed, fingers flying across her communicator. But Maya, there's something else. Our orbital sources indicate this Krulvex isn't traveling with the usual Confederation delegation. He's here alone. Maya frowned. That's not protocol. Exactly, Eli said. And I've been analyzing communications patterns. There are factions within the Confederation. Not everyone agrees on how to handle Earth. The laboratory fell silent as the implications sank in. Their operation had grown too large to hide, and the aliens had noticed. But perhaps they weren't unified in their response. Prepare the public-facing facility for inspection, Maya decided. Show them exactly what they expect to see. Efficient humans processing alien junk. Meanwhile, Paresh, analyze everything we know about Krulvex's species. Riley, monitor all communications to and from his ship. What are you thinking? Eli asked. Maya's expression hardened as she watched her creation. A global operation built from what aliens considered trash, continuing its work below. I'm thinking it's time we found out what the Confederation is really doing with humanity. Krolvex did not match Maya's expectations of a Confederation official. The alien stood barely 5 feet tall, with mottled blue-gray skin and 4 arms that moved with unexpected grace. Most surprising were his eyes, 3 of them, arranged in a triangle, that seemed to miss nothing as Maya led him through Phoenix Reclamation's public facilities. Impressive efficiency, he noted, watching workers process alien components. His translator rendered his chittering speech into flawless English. Your species adapts quickly. We're grateful for the Confederation's generosity, Maya replied diplomatically. Krolvex made a sound that might have been laughter. Generosity. Yes. The tour concluded in Maya's office overlooking the main processing floor. Through the window, they could see the enormous sorting machines, human-modified versions of alien designs, working at full capacity. You've exceeded projections, Krolvex said once they were alone. Most species take decades to achieve what you've accomplished in months. Maya maintained her practiced smile. Humans have always been resourceful. Too resourceful, some would say. The alien's middle eye fixed on her. The preservers are concerned. Preservers. Maya kept her expression neutral despite her racing heart. A faction within our Confederation. Conservative. Traditional. Krolvex's upper limbs made a dismissive gesture. They believe technological development should follow predictable paths. The conversation was interrupted by an urgent message from Eli. Maya excused herself, stepping into the adjoining room. The Mumbai facility was attacked, Eli reported, his face grim on the screen. Precision strike. They knew exactly where our prototype atmospheric processors were stored. Casualties? Maya asked immediately. None. But the technology is gone, completely destroyed. And Maya, the security footage shows weapons we've never seen before. Not human. When Maya returned, she found Krolvex studying the schematic of their fusion battery. He spoke without looking up. The attack was not sanctioned by the full Confederation Council. Maya froze. How did you? No. Krolvex turned all 3 eyes toward her. Because my species was once in your position. 300 cycles ago, we received our own gifts from the established powers. We showed too much promise. Facilities were destroyed. Progress delayed. Why are you telling me this? The preservers believe emerging species must be managed, controlled. They engineer the waste to contain specific technologies, advanced enough to seem generous, limited enough to ensure dependence. Krolvex moved closer. The degradation protocols your scientists discovered are deliberate. A test. Species who can't overcome them remain clients. Those who might face intervention. Maya's mind raced. And which are you? Preserver or something else? I represent a different faction. We believe the Confederation has grown stagnant. Innovation dies when it's controlled. He extended a small device from one of his lower hands. This contains locations of other preserver agents on Earth and frequencies they use for communication. Maya didn't take it. Why would you help us? Self-interest. My faction needs allies. Your species shows remarkable potential. His 3 eyes blinked in sequence. And I've seen your secure facility beneath this building. The atmospheric processors you're developing could restore worlds the preservers consider disposable, including my homeworld. A distant explosion shook the building before Maya could respond. Alarms blared throughout the complex. That would be the Preserver Strike Team, Krolvex said calmly. They're here to ensure you remain simple waste processors, nothing more. Maya grabbed the device from his hand and activated the emergency protocols Riley had designed. Throughout the facility, hidden systems hummed to life. They'll find humans are full of surprises, she said, as reinforced barriers sealed the building. Now, tell me everything about these preservers, while we still have time. Maya surveyed the smoking ruins of what had been Phoenix Reclamation's main processing center. The preserver attack had been contained, but barely. Human ingenuity combined with repurposed alien defense systems had surprised the attackers enough to force their retreat, but the message was clear. Humanity had reached the end of its leash. Damage assessment, she asked as Parrish approached. Superficial to the main facility. They never reached the underground labs. He lowered his voice. The atmospheric processor prototype is safe. Riley transferred all research data to our satellite facilities before the attack. Maya nodded, and our guest. In the secure conference room with Eli. He's been forthcoming. The conference room had been retrofitted with human-designed signal blockers enhanced with alien components. Inside, Kralvex was projecting a star map from a device on the table. The Confederation encompasses 12,000 systems, he explained, but only 27 species hold council seats. The rest are classified as client races, dependent worlds, or developing civilizations. And Earth? Maya asked. Categorized as pre-integration potential. You receive control technology to assess your development rate and adaptation potential. Eli studied the projection. These are the preserver strongholds. Yes, they control access to 90% of all interstellar transit routes. Their technological advantage is primarily in propulsion and weapons technology. Kralvex manipulated the display, but their weakness is adaptation. Their technology has remained largely unchanged for millennia. Why tell us this now? Maya challenged. The Confederation has been manipulating Earth for months. Kralvex's three eyes blinked sequentially. Because your atmospheric processor changed the equation. The combination of technologies you integrated shouldn't work together. The design limitations should have prevented it. But humans found workarounds we never considered. A technician entered with an urgent message. Maya read it, her expression hardening. The Confederation Council has issued a quarantine order for Earth. No ships in or out. They're citing technological contamination concerns. They're isolating you before full intervention, Kralvex confirmed. Standard preserver protocol. Maya made her decision. Cobra, initiate Firebird protocol. Cobra looked surprised. All nodes. That's dozens of facilities worldwide. All of them. It's time humanity stopped hiding what we've built. Within hours, secure facilities around the globe revealed technologies that Phoenix had been developing in secret. Atmospheric processors in India began cleansing polluted air at unprecedented rates. Water purification systems activated across Africa. Transportation hubs in South America unveiled vehicles powered by modified alien tech. And in orbit, 6 small satellites, launched quietly by different nations over the preceding months, activated, creating a planetary defense network. News channels worldwide broadcast the same message. Maya Chen revealing the truth about the Confederation's gifts and the Preservers' attempts to control human development. They offered us their garbage, she told the world, believing we would remain grateful for scraps. Instead, we built something they never imagined possible. Today, we show the galaxy what humanity can accomplish. As she finished speaking, Riley approached with a tablet. Confederation frequencies are exploding with communications. The quarantine fleet is deploying. But there's something else. Multiple non-preserver vessels are breaking formation, responding to our broadcast. Kralvex studied the data. The Progressive Coalition worlds. My people among them. Your broadcast reached beyond Earth. Eli looked concerned. Will it be enough against a preserver fleet? It won't matter, Maya said, bringing up schematics on the main screen. Because we're not fighting. We're leaving. The image resolved into technical drawings of massive engines currently being assembled in shipyards across the planet. Adapted from the very waste the Confederation had discarded. The quarantine fleet arrives in 72 hours, Maya continued. By then, humanity will have demonstrated we are nobody's client race. We're launching our first starships. The observation deck of Earth's first starship, Phoenix Ascendant, offered a breathtaking view of the planet below. Maya watched as shuttles ferried final supplies and personnel to the 5 massive vessels hovering in low Earth orbit, each constructed in secret over the past months using repurposed alien technology. Launch preparations at 94%. Riley reported, their typical reserve giving way to barely contained excitement. All 5 ships report systems nominal. The preserver fleet has accelerated, Eli added more soberly. 46 vessels approaching from the direction of Mars. ETA 4 hours. Maya turned to Krulvex. And your coalition? 11 ships have broken from the Confederation blockade. Others are declaring neutrality. The alien central eye focused intently on the tactical display. But we remain significantly outgunned. Numbers and firepower aren't everything. Maya replied with quiet confidence. What's the status of the broadcast? Cobra's voice came through the comm system. Transmission complete to all targeted systems. 73 non-council worlds have received the technical specifications and evidence of preserver manipulation. Responses are beginning to come in. Outside the viewports, Earth's atmosphere rippled as the first of the atmospheric processors reached full capacity, beginning the long process of environmental restoration. It was humanity's parting gift to their homeworld. Cleaning technologies derived from discarded alien filtration systems. All Phoenix facilities worldwide report secure data purge complete. Parrish confirmed. We've left nothing for the preservers to confiscate. Every nation that participated in the project has the complete technical library. Maya nodded, satisfaction mingling with the weight of responsibility. When she'd started Phoenix Reclamation, she'd been thinking of profit and proving human ingenuity. Now she represented humanity's first steps into a larger, more complicated universe than anyone had imagined. The Indian Prime Minister is requesting to speak with you, an aide reported. And the UN Secretary General. They're concerned about leaving Earth defended. Put them through to the tactical room. I'll speak with them shortly. Maya turned to her core team. Humanity isn't abandoning Earth. We're ensuring its future by showing the Confederation we won't be contained. Incoming transmission, Riley announced suddenly. It's broadcasting on all frequencies. Source appears to be a preserver command vessel. The main screen activated, showing an alien with pale, almost translucent skin and elaborate ceremonial garments. When it spoke, the translator rendered a voice dripping with authority and contempt. This is High Arbiter Zex Keller of the Preservation Council. Your unauthorized technological advancement and attempted interstellar travel violate quarantine protocols. Power down your vessels and prepare for inspection and adjustment procedures. Maya stepped forward, straightening her shoulders. This is Maya Chen of Earth. We reject your quarantine and your authority. Humanity has committed no crime except exceeding your expectations. The technology we've developed came from what you discarded, what you considered worthless. If that threatens you, perhaps the problem lies with the limitations of your vision, not our ingenuity. The preserver's expression shifted subtly. You have been manipulated by dissidents and rogues. The balance of galactic development must be maintained. Last warning. Power down or face consequences. The transmission cut abruptly as sensors detected energy buildups in the approaching preserver fleet. They're charging weapons, Eli reported tensely. Maya looked at her team, humans, and the alien allies who had joined their cause, and felt a strange calm. Launch all vessels. Activate the countermeasures. As the Phoenix ships broke orbit, their engines flared with energy signatures that precisely matched preserver defensive systems, rendering them temporarily invisible to the approaching fleet's targeting systems. It was exactly the kind of adaptation the preservers couldn't comprehend, using their own discarded technology against them in ways they never imagined possible. They offered us junk, Maya said quietly as Earth fell away beneath them. We're about to show them what that mistake will cost them. The void between Earth and Mars became a chaotic battlefield as the 5 human vessels engaged the preserver fleet. Conventional wisdom suggested the outcome was predetermined. Untested ships crewed by a species that had never left their solar system against the galaxy's premier military power. Conventional wisdom failed to account for human adaptability. On the bridge of Phoenix Ascendant, Maya watched tactical displays as Riley implemented their predictive algorithms. The young programmer had spent weeks analyzing every scrap of data on preserver battle formations, finding patterns where others saw only overwhelming force. Targeting solutions transferred to all vessels, Riley announced. Phoenix Dauntless and Phoenix Intrepid report successful evasion of initial weapon salvos. The preserver's ships moved with absolute precision and absolute predictability. Centuries of technological superiority had bred tactical complacency that Riley's algorithms exploited mercilessly. Coalition vessels have engaged from Sector 4, Kralvex reported, drawing off their flanking squadrons. Maya nodded. Execute Phase 2. Across all 5 human vessels, systems that had remained dormant activated simultaneously. The ship's hulls, constructed from modified alien metals with properties the preservers believed impossible to combine, began absorbing and redirecting energy from the attackers' weapons. They're adapting, Eli warned as the tactical display shifted, changing frequencies to bypass our absorption fields. As expected, Maya replied calmly. Perish. The materials scientist had been monitoring the incoming fire patterns. Signature analyzed. Deploying countermeasures now. From the human ships, clouds of microscopic particles dispersed, each programmed to resonate at specific frequencies matching the preserver weapons. The particles formed a defensive screen that scattered the incoming fire, buying precious time. Transmission from High Arbiter Zex Color, Cobra announced from communications. The preserver leader appeared on screen, composure visibly strained. This resistance is futile and wasteful. Your technological theft cannot overcome proper development protocols. This isn't theft, Maya responded. It's innovation. The difference between seeing garbage and seeing potential. The transmission cut abruptly as 3 preserver cruisers converged on Phoenix Ascendant. The ship shuddered under concentrated fire. Hull integrity at 74%, Eli reported. They're targeting our primary power distribution nodes. Exactly as Riley predicted, Maya noted with grim satisfaction. Execute Sunburst. Throughout the human fleet, propulsion systems reconfigured in ways the original alien designers never intended. The ships pulsed with energy patterns that precisely matched preserver communication frequencies, creating temporary disruption across their battle network. In the momentary confusion, Phoenix Ascendant and her sister ships accelerated toward a predetermined coordinate beyond Mars. Coalition vessels are disengaging and following our vector, Kralvex reported. Preservers regrouping, but their formation is compromised. Incoming message, Cobra announced. Multiple sources, dozens of them, from throughout Confederation space. The main display filled with faces of different species, representatives from worlds that had received Maya's broadcast. A reptilian being spoke first. The Mythlar recognize the injustice perpetrated against Earth and offer sanctuary. Our shipyards stand ready. Others followed. Species that had also labored under preserver restrictions, now awakened to possibilities by humanity's example. Position reached, Riley reported as Phoenix Ascendant arrived at the designated coordinates. All vessels accounted for. Preserver pursuit 2 minutes behind. Maya took a deep breath. Activate the jump drive. The technology should not have worked, not according to preserver limitations, but humans had never accepted those limitations. By combining components from 6 different alien propulsion systems, Phoenix engineers had created something new, an interstellar drive cobbled together from discarded parts. Space rippled around the human fleet and their allies as the drive engaged. The last thing they saw before transition was the preserver fleet arriving too late, weapons firing futilely into empty space. Against all odds, humanity had escaped the solar system, not as supplicants or clients, but as innovators who had transformed the galaxy's cast-offs into their salvation. 20 years after humanity's dramatic escape from the solar system, Maya Chen stood on the observation deck of the Nexus station orbiting the neutral world of Centauri Prime. Gray streaked her once dark hair, and fine lines marked the corners of her eyes, but her posture remained straight and commanding as she watched ships from dozens of species dock with the massive structure. "The Zrith delegation has arrived," Eli reported, now sporting a neatly trimmed white beard. "That makes 27 former client worlds represented at the summit." Maya nodded. "And the preservers?" 3 observer vessels holding position at the agreed coordinates. Eli's expression tightened, still declining to send representatives to the station itself. "Pride," Kralvex commented. 2 decades among humans had changed him too. He had adopted their clothing styles and mannerisms, though his 3 eyes still blinked in their distinctive sequential pattern. They cannot accept that their order has fundamentally changed. Changed it had. The human exodus had triggered a cascade of revolutions across Confederation space. Species that had accepted preserver limitations for generations suddenly saw possibility in humanity's example. The technological specifications broadcast before the battle had spread like wildfire, allowing dozens of worlds to bypass artificial limitations in their own salvage technology. The central chamber of Nexus Station hummed with activity as representatives gathered for the historic summit. At its center stood a monument, a sculpture comprised of discarded alien components assembled into a spiral reaching toward the stars. Underneath, a simple plaque read, "From cast-offs, we built a future. 10 minutes until your address." Cobra reminded Maya. The former broker had evolved into humanity's chief diplomat, her natural talent for negotiation serving the growing alliance of worlds that now called themselves the Innovation Compact. "Is Parrish ready with the demonstration?" Maya asked. Riley nodded. "The integrated systems are functioning perfectly. Materials from 17 different worlds, technologies from 22 species, all working together in ways the preservers insisted were impossible." The chamber quieted as Maya took her position at the podium. Faces of countless species, some reptilian, some insectoid, some defying human classification entirely, turned toward her expectantly. 20 years ago, she began, humanity received what we were told were gifts, the discarded remnants of advanced civilizations. What the Confederation didn't understand was that humans have always been defined by our ability to see potential where others see only limitation. Holographic displays activated around the chamber, showing the evolution of human innovation, from the first modified power cells to the massive engineering projects now underway across multiple star systems. Today, we formalize what began as necessity. The Innovation Compact is founded on a simple principle: no technology is useless in the right hands. No species contribution is without value. Together, we have built something the preservers never imagined possible, a cooperative that turns discarded potential into shared prosperity. From the back of the chamber, a preserver observer moved forward, the first to break protocol and enter the station. The crowd parted as the pale, translucent being approached the podium. "The Preservation Council acknowledges," the alien said stiffly, "that alternative development methodologies have demonstrated unanticipated efficacy." Maya allowed herself a small smile. "High Arbiters Excalor, you honor us with your presence. The Confederation Council has authorized me to propose adjusted relations." "No adjustments needed," Maya replied. "Just recognition of a fundamental truth. One civilization's trash becomes another's treasure. The Compact welcomes all who accept this principle, even the Confederation." As the summit erupted in applause, Maya looked out at the gathered species, once clients and dependents, now partners in an interstellar community that grew stronger through shared innovation rather than controlled development. From a handful of salvaged components in a Seattle warehouse to a galactic alliance spanning hundreds of worlds, humanity had transformed the Confederation's junk into something far more valuable than an empire. They had built a future where innovation flowed freely, and no species' potential remained artificially constrained. The final irony wasn't lost on Maya. None of it would have been possible if the Confederation had simply kept their garbage to themselves.